And welcome to PXL. Gigi here, of course. Here another week at the podcast. We've been researching some stuff. However, this topic this week is, well, what we actually know best because we do investigate. And of course, my co-host here, Lou, is with me. She's getting around her notes though at the time. Oh, here she is.
Hi guys, what's up?
What's up? You doing all right, Lou?
Yeah.
Getting tired out?
Yeah, I'm okay.
Zoning.
Though.
She's all right. She's gonna...
Nervous for my eye exam.
Oh, no.
I hate getting my eyes checked.
Oh.
Because sometimes they do that flashbang thing and you're like...
You mean the air?
Yeah, it's the air and it like freaks me out.
The air flashbang thing?
And the lights hurt. And then when they say, what would they say? What way is the E pointing? I'm like, I don't know, right, left,
the way it's supposed to.
Then I'm like, I'm scared I'm going to say the wrong thing, and then my prescription's wrong. So
right. Well, they got you. It's all right, honey. It's all right. You got this. You got it, Lou. So this week we are talking about investigating tools. You know, a lot of these things we use. When we first started, I thought we had to have everything, didn't I?
Everybody does, I think, when they first start.
Yes,
they need one of everything, so they have it.
And then you remember when you're out and about in a cemetery at 2 a.m., you only have two hands.
Well, yeah. All you really need is a recorder and a flashlight on it. That's really, like, the basic, if you want to get, like, super basic.
Yeah, basic.
Or maybe, like,
EMF.
EMF.
K2. Yeah, that's what I carry is my voice recorder, which I can use my phone for a voice recorder too, and an EMF reader. I'm just like, whatever. And I used to have all the tools, all the different spirit boxes, oh my gosh, what's that one everybody likes?
Spirit box?
No, I just said that.
Oh. Motion sensors?
No, the thing with the
balls?
connects. Oh, cat balls are fun.
Oh, SLS?
Yes. So... yes, the SLS camera. And we had two of those within our group with J&J Paranormal. They come with us. They are part of our group as well, our investigating group. And, you know, we both had them. And now we barely ever take them just because, well, for one, they're a pain in the butt.
They're cool, though. Like
they are fun. And I have my own thoughts on them that I'll keep to myself. I don't want to offend anybody. And it's no judgment toward people that use stuff like that. It is fun. I had a lot of fun doing it. And you used it back when I first got it.
Yeah.
When you did some of the investigation. So it was neat.
I think, I don't know, because it's like you point it at wherever and let's say it's like on the bed and then you say like get on the bed, then it gets on the bed. So I just think it's pretty cool.
It is cool when it actually reacts with you. What I have an opinion on is when people like point it in a closet door, okay? And they're like, it's something standing there. The Connects is meant to make something out of four corners. Or make a human form out of any object. That's what it's meant to do.
Yeah.
And so it's going to do that. Now, I'm not saying it doesn't pick up the spirits, but when you're pointing it at a closet door, even in the dark, because it's got the night vision stuff, it's still going to do the four corners, but it's going to add a head too. So you got the two hands and the 2 feet and a head. And it's going to draw that stick figure regardless. And it tries to do that with any shape you try to put it to. Now, like Lou was just saying, when you watch it interact and you tell it to come toward you or wave its right hand and it does that, the figure does that, that's really awesome. That's when you get your K2 out and you throw it over there and you get your cat ball, you throw that over there.
Recorder, and sometimes you can pick up
an EMF,
anything. Some more EVP. Evidence and stuff.
Oh yeah. It's, I'm not saying bad things about it. I just prefer now to keep it light for myself. It'd be cool, like, if they had that in, like, VR, and you could wear, like, a VR set that did it, so you didn't have to carry the whole thing around.
Yeah.
So, like I keep saying, EMF, we'll start with EMF detectors. So, we carry K2s. There's a bunch of different kind of EMF detectors that you can get, the little handheld ones. EMF detector, what it is, electric magnetic field detector are a staple of paranormal investigations. They measure fluctuations in the electric magnetic energy, which some believe can indicate a spirit's presence. Investigators use these devices to take baseline readings of a location and then watch for unusual spikes that can't be explained by nearby electronics or wiring. And that's one thing, like, first and foremost, as a investigator, you want to go through and try to debunk things. By debunking, it doesn't mean that you think the person's lying or whatever, but there might be just a wiring shortage or something. A what?
Nothing.
Nothing.
When you say debunk, my brain goes back to like Ghost Adventures or like any other paranormal show, and then they're like, it was wind, or it was I don't know, someone I don't know, my brain was somewhere else.
Well, there's a lot of different ways to debunk things, and skeptics will be the first to try to debunk anything. And you can be a skeptic believer. That's what I try to tell myself. Another thing that I carry that I don't see a lot of people carry is like a small level. So like, let's say balls keep moving on the floor, or this car, every time I put this car there, I wake up in the morning and it's on the other side of the room. Well, I'm going to get that level. I'm going to say, well, your floor's not level. Like there's a little slant, and it could be, when the heat comes on and that ball that keeps rolling, it's just enough, what do I say? Not wind, but, oh my God. My brain is mush now. Enough breeze from the furnace turning on that it's making it move, and then your floor's not level is what I'm trying to get. Or your cupboards coming open all the time by themselves. Maybe your cupboards aren't level. It can be something like that. I'm not saying, oh my gosh, you're silly for believing ghosts. Obviously, I do believe to some point. That's why I'm an investigator. But there's little things like that you can go and try to debunk it. And what's the next one we got on the list as?
We got digital voice recorders. So there's
that's one of your favorites.
Yeah, it is my favorite. Because like, it's small, you can just hold it in your hand, and you can pick up some pretty cool stuff if the people are being quiet, which doesn't always happen. But it's also known as electrical voice phenomena, sounds or voices that are often only heard during playback. And during an investigation, investigators ask questions out loud and leaving space for potential responsives. Reviewing the recordings later can reveal some strange voices or sounds that weren't audible at the time. So, like, sometimes you can hear, like, distant screams, laughing. But, yeah, the one thing that I hate watching people, or, like, for the first time, is, like, they don't give a pause, and they ask a question back to back to back. But I'm like, I want to say don't do that, because like you're not giving any time, and that's when people make mistakes and they're like, oh my God, did you hear that little cough? And I'm like, that was you. So it's like, I don't know.
Or you're not given enough time, and then they just are like, we got nothing.
Yeah, that's what I'm just like, seriously? Like, I want to scream at that person, because it's like...
She's not violent.
No, but it's just like, come on, like, seriously, give it some time, because
right. Well, if it's a spirit,
to respond, and
yes, they have to muster up that energy to be able to do that.
So, like, ask your question, give it 5-10 seconds at least, because you never know how long it's gonna. We don't know how long it takes, so like, give that fucker some time.
No, well, yeah.
It just pisses me off. Yes. That's one thing that's my biggest pet peeve, I think, in this stuff, is that people don't give enough time.
And if you're going into a historic location, okay, and we're trying to...
And echoing.
We're trying to reach somebody that's from, like, 1936, okay? They don't know what that voice recorder is. If I was a ghost from back then, and I'm like, that would be so scary. I'd be like, what kind of sorcery is this? Why are these witches in my house? And oh my God, we're all going to die. These people are demons.
Because they might not know that they've passed on, and then they're like, what are these hoobie doobies doing in my house? You know what I mean?
Yeah, so, and they're aliens bringing in this high-tech stuff. So either, explain it to them, or find another way. And like, we started a new thing. I'm not going to talk about it right now, but as a group that we do to try to encourage, especially spirits that have passed on from a long time ago that don't know about cat balls or this lighted thing or this thing that keeps beeping whenever they try to get by it. Like, that would scare me.
Yeah. That's why we explain it before, and they're like, okay. Some people don't. They're like, just touch this. And I'm like, what?
Working with the candle's a good way to do it too. However, you have to make sure, there's a lot of things you have to make sure that nobody's breathing on it, that there isn't a breeze going through the house.
There's one thing that we did as a group.
That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, there was an incident with the cat ball, and somebody was walking. And
the cat ball thing.
Yeah, the cat ball stuff, which I believe a lot. But like, when people are moving around, it can pick that up.
Well, right, and that's why you just don't use the cat ball. That's when you throw the EMF reader and everything else right there.
And like with the spirit box, that's the next one. But like with the spirit box thing, like, people are like, they'll turn it on, right? And then they'll like leave it on the lowest setting for the channels to go fast.
Well, we'll get on that here.
Are you serious?
So, spirit boxes, like Lou just said, spirit boxes rapidly scan radio frequencies, creating a mix of white noise and audio fragments. Investigators believe that spirits can manipulate the noise to form words or phrases. These devices are often used in real time to ask questions and listen for a response. So, back to the
keyword, guys, rapidly.
Okay. Calm down, Lou. She got triggered. So, now that we got Lou all fired up, the thing with the spirit box is, so it goes back to like the EVP sessions. I have learned, because I always used to use the spirit box too. Loved it. The SB7's what I had.
Yeah, I don't mind them.
But I've learned that I prefer to do the clean EVPs.
Yeah.
Where you just had the voice recorder there. And we got new voice recorders now, because now you can purchase ones that you can see when it's picking up a sound. Mm-hmm. So then you can write down later on, like if you don't have your headphones with you or whatnot.
You can write down like the time where it was.
Yep, so you don't got to listen to 8 hours of just silence.
Right.
It'll show you where there was a spike to go back and listen to, which those are really nice. So with the spirit boxes, so many mixed feelings. Some people love them, and that's great. Use them. But there isn't a such thing as a professional investigator, how we prefer to use things.
Or wrong way, but there is at the same time if you want to get the perfect, like...
If you want to get a better chance of getting an actual EVP, so like the SB7, you want to do 150. Oh my gosh, I'm trying to picture it in my head. I should have brought the stuff. Okay, so it's 150. That's going to be your fastest. It actually is kind of reverse of what you think it would be. So, but you want to also go in reverse. So it's going backwards.
So you're not going to pick up like somebody saying 99.5 and they're like, oh my God, it said 99.5. I'm like, that's a radio station.
Or it's,
so, like,
it's DJ Jeff. Oh my God, it said Jeff. No, what's going to happen is you're going to get a voice over multiple stations. You're not looking for an actual word coming out of just one station. So Destiny, make the noise. So I am here. That's what you're going to get. It isn't just going to be like, Jeff, my name is Jeff. My name's Jeff.
Yeah, it's just...
It's going to be over multiple. We have a few like that. So with the group, and I was talking about J&J Paranormal earlier. So years ago, we were at a cemetery in Hastings in Berry County. And we went home and we're going through all of our stuff. And they were going through their EVPs. And there was actual chanting. And what I mean chanting, like when you're going through, and it wasn't a clean EVP. We didn't just have nothing going. Obviously, the spirit box was going, and it went over multiple stations for multiple seconds. I want to say it lasted like 20-25 seconds. Now, when you're channeling through those channels super fast and it's automatically doing it, it's doing it. You're getting a station in like a split of a second. Multiple stations. Each is a different station it's going to, so it's going fast through these stations. And it was the same chanting of this group of people through multiple stations,
and that
through multiple seconds. So it's so hard to explain, but I know it's not hard to explain. Maybe it's hard to understand.
People just don't know how to use it correctly or like efficiently, because when you, I don't know.
I've never told anybody, no, that's not what you got, because they get excited.
And it could be box, but you just gotta use it
right. And it could be somebody that's just going out for the first time and they're having a good time. I'm never gonna say, oh my God, you're using it wrong, because honestly, I don't know. That's just the way that I choose to use it after research of that particular piece of equipment too.
Easily debunk all that, because there's certain things like people are like, oh my God, it said something, but I'm like, they were literally singing though, or like they heard, oh my God, the ghost was singing. I'm like, they're literally singing though. It's a station,
right?
Because they're not going fast enough or backwards.
It's Britney, bitch.
Yeah, like fuck. No,
obviously we have lots of opinions on the spirit box. I do enjoy it. I actually have two. Now, I rarely use them. I use them as like a backup after doing some clean EVP sessions and stuff like that. Just for the fun of it. Oh, chewy. It is fun, and you probably should put it in your arsenal if you want an arsenal, because it is something that is affordable too, and there's many, many different kinds as well, which is really awesome. They do make some that you can actually record right from it. The SB7, my original one that I have, I just lay my video recorder on top of it and I let it sit, and then I sit back and then I ask questions and give it time with the questions to go through to line everything up. So Lou will take the next one.
I have infrared and full spectrum cameras.
I love those. Sorry.
Yeah, you're fine. These cameras are designed to capture light spectrums outside of the human vision, such as infrared and ultraviolet. They're used to document anomalies like orbs, shadows, or apparitions that might not be visible to the naked eye. Stationary cameras are often set up in active areas, while handheld models are used to explore the environment.
So I do have a full spectrum camera, and actually J&J Paranormal made that for me as well. I always lose the charger, so I barely take it with me. And what is nice about that is it gets the shadows. So what would normally be in shadows when that's going, it almost has like a hue of purple. So you will get the full spec will take that shadow out of there. and you'll see if something's moving or whatnot. Definitely gives you a different type of vision. The IR, obviously, you need that for nighttime or night vision. That's where you're going to see things when you got the lights off because, well, it's always funner to investigate in the dark. I mean, you can investigate any time of day. Investigating in the dark makes it more fun because you got the scare factor in it. So thermal imaging cameras, always fun as well. Now, thermal cameras detect heat signatures and temperature variations, creating images that reveal hot or cold spots. Investigators use them to track sun temperature drops, which are often associated with paranormal activity. Now, with something like this would be, you'd want like a thermal camera at the same time as using, oh my god, now I'm trying to think of it again. With the,
SLS?
Yes, with the SLS. So if you got somebody standing next to you that's got the SLS as well, and then you get this figure in the doorway, and then you see, and then there's like a figure with the temperatures, then you can line it up and be like, oh wow, like check that out, like, and seeing the two things on the two different types of cameras. Thermal imaging cameras, they're just kind of fun anyway, I think. I always have a good time with them. Motion sensors?
Motion sensors are used to detect movement in areas where no one is present. They're especially useful in monitoring hallways, staircases, rooms with reported activity as well. If a sensor is triggered unexpectedly, it may indicate something unexplained. So, like, I don't know. For example, there was an incident where we had, like, a cat ball could be one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where you gotta, like, that's a motion sensor, right?
Essentially, yeah, it's gotta be touched.
So, like, there's a time where I forgot one was on the bed, and I sat on the bed. I'm like, oh my god, it went off. But I'm like, oh my god, it's me. So, like,
I sat
there's
down.
something like that. Like,
yeah, you always want to be self-aware of what you're doing when something goes off.
Yeah, like, you definitely want to know where everything is at, so you know where to go, where not to go.
Yep. And the motion sensors are good for, like, if you have a DVR system, which we have one of those too. So, like, if you're at this large location and you can't be in every room, or you want to leave a room that is known to be haunted, and kind of watch from a different room to see what happens when you're not there. And that's, the motion sensors. If you have a light that comes on with the motion sensor, but your DVR system's going completely or all the time or whatever, obviously. Or you can get DVR systems that are motion triggered. So essentially, motion sensor, it's going to start recording when it senses motion, which is good to have that probably set up that way anyway, now that I'm saying it out loud, because it's saving battery and such. Digital cameras, well, we all have those. A good digital camera is an investigator's go-to tool for capturing potential anomalies. Taking multiple photos of the same area can help identify unusual phenomena such as strange lights, shadows, or orbs that appear in one image but not others. So, we go around, we take them with our phones, our other cameras. We got DSLR cameras. We have all sorts of cameras. They're just fun to have anyway. Because let alone if you don't catch any ghosts on your trip, you're catching memories at the same time with your crew, which is all a good time. So with that, we're going to take a short break and come back. So we will see you after the break. Or we will not see you. We will talk some more.
Hi, everyone. This is JJ, the co-founder of Good Pods. If you haven't heard of it yet, Good Pods is like Goodreads or Instagram, but for podcasts. It's new, it's social, it's different, and it's growing really fast. There are more than 2 million podcasts, and we know that it is impossible to figure out what to listen to. On Good Pods, you follow your friends and podcasters to see what they like. That is the #1 way to discover new shows and episodes. You can find Good Pods on the web or download the app.
And we're back. We are now on Lou's turn.
So we got temperature gauges. Temperature changes as well, particularly sudden cold spots, are often linked to paranormal activity. Digital thermometers or thermal sensor I'm having a bad time today. Thermal sensors allow investigators to monitor these shifts in real time and document them as they happen.
So that's a good thing to do when you're taking base readings, like when you first get to a location. So I have one of those laser ones. That was actually I think it was the second thing I bought in my little arsenal back when I first started. And I use it to take the kids' temperatures and everything now. But it's one of those things that you just go around if you don't have a thermal camera, because they are reasonably priced. The thermal cameras they're costly, but essentially the same thing. You just don't get the image with it. But you can monitor the
cold spot.
The cold spots, the temperature in the room, and then find your base reading. So if it's 68 all the time, when you get a 68 reading, obviously nothing's going on, type of thing. Next is dowsing rods. Dowsing rods are a traditional tool often associated with detecting water or energy. In paranormal investigations, they're used to ask yes or no questions or to sense energy fields. The rod's movements are interpreted as response. Their use is their use is controversial, which it very much is. I think they're fun to use. I do have a set. I don't use them often. Again, I think it comes down to like using the pendulum or what have you. I prefer to have like a pendulum stand and then you use it that way versus somebody's hand. Just so you take out any of the question when it comes to that. You know what I mean? And it's the same thing with the dowsing rods. However, I've never seen dowsing rod holders. But
I don't really...
Like I said, they're fun to use though.
Yeah, I think it's, in my opinion, I think it's just...
more of an entertainment thing.
A thing of... Yeah, it's just...
A thing of nonsense,
yeah,
according to Lou.
Bull crap.
But I personally think they're fun. I'm not downing any of these things because they're probably somebody's favorite, and I think that's great for you.
I do think it's good to find like water wells and whatever. That's perfect. But
well, yeah, that's what they were made for to begin with.
Phenomenon stuff. I'm like, no. But I got trigger objects.
Do you? What do you have?
Maybe I do. They're items like toys, coins, or jewelry that are placed in an area to encourage interaction from spirits. These objects are often paired with motion sensors or cameras to detect movement or disturbances. So like bears, like little stuffed bears, like
if there's children.
If there's children, use like blocks, stuff like that. I seen this one guy on YouTube. He uses he went to this antique shop because you want like old stuff from that time, something that they're familiar with, and so he got like these old antique building blocks with like their numbers and like letters on them, and he stacked them up super tall, and they all like there's no way that it could have fallen. I mean, it could have, but everything was super still and everything, and they ended up tumbling over like someone ran through it.
Oh, neat.
So I think that was pretty cool.
Well, see, that's something when we did the Boyd House, when me, Lori, and Court went out to Minnesota when we did the Iowa investigation too. So we went to the Boyd House, and that's in Minnesota, southern Minnesota, amazing location. But I did my research on that location first, and the gardener, or the guy, the owner, the man of the house loved gardening. So I went to an antique store and bought old gardening tools, and we set those out and did an EVP session. But we used the old gardening tools for a trigger. That was something that he enjoyed. So if you're looking for trigger objects, research your location first and figure out, okay, there was a little kid spirit that's said to be there. Did he like cars? See if you can research that type of thing. Yeah. And like Lou said, if you can't find a particular thing, find stuff from that time era. Like an old lady that was a pianist, she, look up the old piano music from that time era and play some of that. That music, especially because it's showing at that vibration, they'll respond to vibrations. And music is a good one for that. So finding a trigger object that will intrigue the spirit that you're trying to reach out to. And Lou has SLS cameras.
We kind of already.
We did, but go ahead and.
Oh, okay. So SLS, also known as a structured light sensor. Cameras use infrared light to map shapes in the environment. They're known for detecting stick figure-like shapes that some believe represent spirits. These cameras are often used in locations with a history of activity to detect unseen presences.
Yes.
You know what I mean. But yeah, we kind of already talked about that a little bit, but yeah.
They are great
stick
to have.
Figures.
They're fun.
Yeah.
And they create the stick figures for you, but they are meant for, they come off a connects from a 360, an Xbox. So they're meant for gaming and stuff like that. I think if you use it against something else.
I think if you went like outside and used it, like let's say in a forest maybe, or a cornfield, somewhere like in the field where it's like complete, like let's say like a cornfield, but like there's no corn, so like it's like tractor already went through it, right? Or like in the wintertime, I think would be nice because everything's white and you can't really see.
Well, like
anything.
the one we had at that cemetery I was talking about before, because back then when we got that chanting, we had the SLS camera. And I remember it was me and Josh and Julie were standing there and we seen this figure and we're like, okay, we want to interact with it because we're like, okay, it could be this, it could be that. But it was in the dark and it formed behind the headstone. So a lot of headstones, it'll form a stick figure on a headstone. Why wouldn't it? Most headstones are rectangle. It's going to do that.
Yeah.
Well, we're like, okay, if you're there, walk to us. We watched this MFer climb over, the whole stick figure climbed over top of the thing and was walking toward us. Yeah, and I'm like,
was he walking?
I have a video of it because I would have my IR camera going. I start running the other way. I'm like, oh my God. Yeah. I'm like, no,
and they were like,
thank you.
Oh my God, this is so cool. And you're like, nope.
No, because I'm a scaredy cat, even though I do this. Yeah. Protective tools. So before I get into what we have there.
REM pod.
Just kidding. REM pods. REM pods emit their own field and sound alarm if anything disrupts it. These devices are placed in areas with reported activity and monitored for any interaction.
Isn't it like a thing that kind of just goes off?
Well, yeah. Well, it's essentially an EMF with an alarm.
Or like you can be like, light the light brighter for yes, or light it dim for no. I've seen people do that.
Some are like that. There's different types of REM pods, but the actual REM pod, and when you talk about, so it's electromagnetic field, so, or it emits their own, but it's same thing. So you're going to have that, and it's going to light up when it reads it. But it makes this horrific noise at the same time. I like them, and then I also dislike them, because if I was a ghost from 1932 and I heard that thing go off, I would hide and not come back out again, ever. But they are cool to have in your arsenal.
We got protective tools. Many investigators bring crystals such as black tourmaline or other protective items to shield themselves from potential negative energy. Sage is like one of the commonly used. I prefer Palo Santo just because it smells better to me and it lasts longer, and I think it's more more potent, I guess you could say.
I have my own stuff on that.
Yeah, I think it's just easier to
Well, sage and Palo Santo are used for cleansing, so that would be something that you used afterwards if you want to use it correctly. If you use it beforehand, though, you may chase off the spirits. If it does truly work, you're probably not going to get anything.
I think it just depends on how you're going into that investigation, whether it be an investigation or not, or just helping somebody out to clear something negative. By all means, use it. But I think if you're doing that first before you even start, I think you're not going to get as much feedback as you're looking for. I think after you do your investigation,
that stuff's meant for cleansing.
Yeah, so I think after your investigation, go outside, whatever. Cleanse yourself.
No, we used to and still do. We say a prayer before we go in. Whether it works or not, a better safe than sorry. It's not hurting anything if it doesn't truly work with the prayer or the tourmaline or the onyx for the protective stones. And you can also use it, say, an intruder comes in while you're investigating, throw it. It's still a protector.
Right.
There's different things with that. So flashlights and white noise machines. Flashlights are not only practical for navigating dark areas, but can also be used as a flashlight session. So Julie uses these. She does the flashlight sessions. That's really hard to say. To communicate with spirits. White noise machines create background sounds that some believe help spirits manifest or communicate by manipulating the noise. And that's what a spirit box is. Mm-hmm. It's that white noise that you're after. You're after the static, not the radio station. So you want to go to AM stations, going back to the spirit box thing that we talked about at the beginning. Try to be on an AM stations when you're channeling through super fast.
This is just like a little closing. To ensure a thorough investigation, it's essential to document everything carefully, establish baseline readings, and use multiple tools to cross-check findings. While an open mind is crucial, maintaining a healthy level of skepticism can help separate genuine anomalies from misinterpretations.
Yes. No, perfectly said, Lou.
I think you just need to go in there open mind and don't always say this is what is happening, because you need to go back, listen carefully.
Right, and you carry your notebooks with you. So you go through, you take a walk through these locations, take a notebook with you, write things down that you think might be important, or even what you're smelling at that time. It might be something off, or you don't smell anything. Say, okay, we walked through at 4 p.m. and nothing. And then later on, when you're doing the investigation, you're smelling burnt toast. Well, I hope you're not having a stroke or something. But, you can kind of go back, and then at the end or the next day or whatever, you meet with your crew and
I thought it was burnt popcorn.
Oh, I don't know. And you go through all your notebooks and see if everybody else said the same thing or heard the same thing and stuff like that. You want to put together all your notes. Just because somebody may have thought they heard something, but it was the other person talking. They'll say, oh, no, we were doing a EVP session in the next room, so you heard me say, Lou. It wasn't something coming through, So you want to have a meeting afterwards to go over all the evidence that you each did, because you're not all going to probably all go together. You're going to break off into teams, and you're going to have using the different equipment.
I think it's easier to give one person one certain job for that night, so you can get kind of all of it, and so you're like nobody, including like the spirits, are getting confused.
Right. Oh, we're all doing
different things, and they're like, "Why would I want to hang with these crazy people? Like they're all over the place." No, I'm gonna go back in the basement. Like,
and that's where me and Jules will be. But we hope you enjoyed this. Again, if you're an investigator and you're listening to this, email us what you guys use in your favorite tools that you use, whether it be just yourself or, an SLS camera. We want to know what everybody else likes to use as well, or if we didn't mention one that you want us to know about. Email us at paranormal@rightme.com. And thanks again for joining me and Lou. We appreciate you as always.
So much.
So much. And remember, don't yuck someone else's yum.
Ever. And that's what's up.